The S-5 is a rocket weapon developed by the Soviet Air Force and used by military aircraft against ground area targets. It is in service with the Russian Air Force and various export customers. It is produced in a variety of subtypes with different warheads, including heat anti-armour, high-explosive fragmentation, smoke, and incendiary rounds. Each rocket is about 1.4 meters long and weighs about 5 kilograms, depending on warhead and fuse. Range is 3 to 4 kilometers. Development: developed in early 1950s, originally as part of the air-to-air S-5 weapon system for the MiG-19. The rockets were tested in a series of configurations on MiG-15 bis and MiG-17 jets, with the final tests complete on a MiG-17 picoforwards in January 1955. The tests revealed that the rockets did not perform as expected against aerial targets. The rocket ARS-57 was accepted into service in April 1955, with a military designation S-5. Description: the S-5 is a 55 mm caliber unguided rocket fired from a 57 mm caliber tube. It is used by fighter bombers and helicopters. It consists of a steel body containing a solid fuel rocket, and a high-explosive warhead with a mechanical impact fuse. At the rear of the rocket is an elongated exhaust nozzle, attached to which are 8 forward-folding fins. The fins fold around the rocket when it is stowed in its launch tube, springing back as soon as it leaves the launch tube. In flight, the fins provide stabilizing spin to the rocket, spinning it at approximately 750 rpms. The solid rocket motor burns for just 1.1 seconds, during which time it covers about 300 meters. The S-5 is carried in rocket pods, with 4 Euro-32 rockets. The first were ORO-57 launchers, made in variants with capacity of 4, 8 and 16 rockets. Most typical became ORO-57K for 8 rockets, used especially with MiG-19. Then, from early 1960s, typical launcher became UB-16-57, with 16 rockets, developed in several variants, for helicopters and planes. UB stands for Universal Block, for it could be carried on typical bomb hardpoints. 57 is referring to the actual diameter of the launch tube. First variant and UB-16-57U had conical forward part, next variant UB-16-57D had blunt forward part. From 1968, a variant UB-16-57UMP was produced, with conical forward part and sticking out 5 inner tubes. In the 1970s there was developed an ultimate launcher UB-32 with 32 rockets, carried by heavier aircraft. In Poland, Mars-2 launcher was developed for 16 rockets, and in Romania, LPR-57 launchers for 16 rockets. Operational history Afghanistan S-5 rockets were used extensively by Sukhoi Su-25 and Mi-24 aircraft in Afghanistan in the 1980s, where their effectiveness was considered poor. Pilots described the rockets fanning out after launch like a tulip, and that the warhead was only good for tickling the Duoki's heels. The Russian forces have shifted to higher caliber weapons like the S-8 rocket instead. Israel On Sunday 6 January 2009, the Israel Defense Forces identified a rocket fired at Israel earlier in the day by militants in the Gaza Strip as a Russian-made S-5K, the type used in battle in Iran and Afghanistan. According to the IDF, the rocket fired at Kibbutz Alumim in the Negev marked the first time militants in Gaza have used this type of weapon. Although this type is intended to be launched aerially, said the IDF, Gaza militants on Sunday chose to launch their rocket from on the ground. Unlike a Qassam rocket, the S-5K contains more explosives, but is less precise. Libya S-5, along with S-8 and S-13 rockets, have been deployed from the backs of pickup trucks during the 2011 Libyan civil war, serving as a makeshift MLRS. The rebels have also developed a man-portable launcher for the S-5, turning the rocket into a makeshift RPG round. Syria The S-5 has seen use by the Syrian Air Force against opposition forces in the Syrian civil war. Typical launchers specifications: ORO-57 rockets, 8, length diameter 1,447 220 mm, weight, empty, 33 kg, weight, loaded, 64 kg, aircraft, MiG-19. UB-16-57 Umprokits, 16, length diameter, 1,880 335 mm, weight, empty, 57 kg, weight, loaded, 138 kg, aircraft, MiG-21, Su-7, Mi-8. UB-32 rockets, 32, length diameter, 2,080 481 mm, weight, empty, 103 kg, weight, loaded, 264 kg, aircraft, MiG-21, MiG-23, MiG-27, Su-7, Su-17-22, Su-25, Mi-17, Mi-24. Rocket specifications. See also, RS-82 rocket, S-8 rocket, Ark-Rosa, a proposed upgrade of dumb rockets to salvo-fired laser-guided precision missiles. References